Hey everyone, a good day. It is Rich Girl number 116. So welcome, welcome. Now, if you are new to Rich Girl, I welcome you, especially because today is a topic that I gotta tell you, love, 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 and have learned so much from. Now, if you are not new to us, then I want you to know that I welcome every comment from really everyone because this topic has a lot of discussion. Can I just tell you, it has a lot of discussion. So as we started it will probably end up being about three parts. And so just kind of hang on for that because I think you're going to love that. Thank you also, yes, also for sharing Rich Girl with your friends, your relatives, whoever. You can catch me on the Facebook private page. Remember that they have to be asked to be request to get on their private page. However, you can also find us on YouTube. Suzanne Brothers, Rich Girl, all of them are there. I believe that all of them are there. So, gosh, if you got a minute to say, hey, I want to see what Suzanne did in the past, gosh, go for it. Go for it. So, as we start today, I want you to know that I have learned so much from reading and understanding what you are about to hear in business, personal relationship, marriage, and yes, even myself, especially myself. So, Gary Chapman, thank you for writing the book and books on this. So, here's the deal, you guys. We all want to receive love. We want to feel love, give it as well. And most of us are really not that good at it. We're not really that good at it. We lack the tools on how to. Or when we're in a difficult relationship or situation, we can feel all alone. We can feel powerless to understand our partner. So, love is really the most important word in the English language and also the most confusing. We seek it, we find it, and sometimes we lose our way really fast. And we can come up hurt, confused, really confused. Love is absolutely primary need for all of us. And we will risk death, we'll go to battle, we'll endure pain, we'll show blind courage, and we'll sacrifice almost anything for it. And really that list of what we will do for love, isn't it endless? Right? It really is. And when our love tank is low or even worse, empty, it closes the possibilities for us actually to show love. It's kind of like you can't run on an empty tank, right? So it does close up the possibilities for us to actually show love. Emptiness is really at the root of most relationship failures. It is in our nature, though, to cry out for love. It's absolutely in our nature. So as we really dive in today, I want you to see a picture. Okay, let me see if I can show this. Okay, that picture. I picked that picture up, and it was not framed, in a little piazza in Rome, Italy. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that I loved it because that's the way I look at a really great relationship is like dancing together in perfect harmony. And also just like this shed of light that just scatters on the two. And I really consider that like a heavenly source. So I hope you like that, but I've had that in my home for years and then had it framed. Okay, so I wanted to put it in back of us today. So when we speak each other's love language, we are making an actual contribution to that relationship like nothing else that we can do. And for those who know the five, this can be a great review and also a reminder of how this act can be practiced more in your everyday. So the practice of the five will make life and love really grow in a wonderful way and where your partner can hear more and you can enhance the relationship more because isn't that what we all want? We want our partner to feel more love from us. We want them to feel secure in the relationship. Now we're going to talk a lot about today a spousal relationship, but I want you to know, and you know this, right, that it covers every single relationship in business, in personal. It's the whole gamut. Now here we go. The object of love is not getting something you want, but doing something for the well-being of the one that you love. There are basically really five ways that people speak and understand emotional love. And your love language and that of your spouse may be different as Chinese from English. No matter how hard you try to express your love in English, if your spouse understands Chinese and speaks Chinese, you'll never be able to understand each other very well. It'll be just mostly miss, seldom hit. So once you identify and learn to speak your spouse's primary love language, and there really are two, primary and secondary, you will have discovered the key to long-lasting, loving marriage. Now, love need not evaporate after the wedding, but in order to keep it alive, most of us will have to put forth the effort to learn that secondary language of our spouse, or really our kids or anyone. This is how to speak the language of them. So this is what this is all about. How do you speak not your love language more, but theirs? If we want our spouse to feel love and the love that we're trying to communicate, we must express it in their love language. Okay, you guys got that, right? Right. So let's go over the 5 for this session of The Rich Girl. And next week, we'll go over some tips, examples, funny things, all that kind of stuff. So today, we're going to really concentrate on going over the 5. So don't skip ahead of me, you guys. Don't try to figure yours out. Just listen, maybe make some notes on this, and contemplate it through the week if you're new to love language education. Now, if you're not new to this and maybe you're like a pro, let's just review what you already know and maybe just polish it up a little bit, okay? So here we go. You ready? You're ready. Okay, here we go. Number 1, words of affirmation. One way to express love emotionally is to use words that build that other person. Solomon wrote that the tongue has the power of life and death. And he also wrote that an anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up. So verbal compliments or words of appreciation are a powerful communicator of love. Words from our spouse can give us the courage necessary to accomplish the things that we would really like to do. And most of us have more potential than we have ever really developed, right? But what holds us back oftentimes is courage. Now, a loving spouse can supply that important catalyst. Our spouse will usually interpret our message based on our tone of voice, not really the words that we use. Remember that a soft answer turns away anger. There are many ways to deliver words of affirmation, okay, in this love language. You can do it publicly. You can do it in a written card or note. You can do it also alone in person, a little more intimate there. You can do it on the phone. You could text them. You could do a third party. There's many, many ways to do this. Third party is telling something about your spouse to someone else that you pretty much know is going to get back to that person. Okay, keep in mind, it is got to be sincere. It's got to be well thought out. And don't you know the most important one? It's specific to them. It can't be general. Specific to them. So note to self here. We're going to do a note to self. Most people do have 2 languages, primary and secondary. And sometimes, I even get them mixed up. Which is my primary, which is my secondary. I know which my primary is to my husband, but really with my children, I work more into the secondary love language. But before you try to identify again, I want you to remember we're not going to race ahead here, right? We're just going to hear these out, right? Okay, number 2, you ready for this? It is quality time. This means giving someone your undivided, underline undivided attention. It doesn't mean like sitting on the couch watching TV together. Because when you are watching television together, your attention is on the movie, the show, whatever on the TV. It's not on your spouse. So don't get confused about that one. Quality time means that you are doing something together that you both are giving your full attention to the other person. Okay, the activity you're both engaged in really is not important here. It's really not the activity. It's that you're spending time together and the whole focus is on them. What the real deal is both of you are spending that focused time with each other. The activity is just really kind of the vehicle that creates a sense of togetherness. Now, have you ever noticed in a restaurant? I mean, I have all the time. I see this all the time. Oh yeah, you see it, right? You can always tell the difference between a couple that's dating and a couple that are married. The dating couple, aren't they like looking at each other? They're talking, they have good eye contact. Whereas sometimes married couples are sitting there gazing around the restaurant or they're on their devices. You know it too, right? Your undivided attention is a powerful communicator of love. Now, one of the byproducts of quality activities, is that they provide an amazing memory bank from which to draw from in the coming years. Okay, really a memory bank. Okay, do nothing else while together. That 20 minutes can change everything, don't you know? Like eye contact, no interruptions, no cell phone. Oh my gosh, please turn off the cell phone, put it away, out of sight. Both of you. Okay, body language conveys that you are totally there with them. Now, I want to give you a quick example of this. When my children would come home from school, I would be totally present for them. And it would be about 10 minutes. We talk about their school day, we talk about their homework, we talk about what's going on later, what we're going to have for dinner. And by the way, this is also my spouse as well. Re-entry time, totally and completely there. And they would need about 10, 15 minutes. That was it. But if I didn't give them the quality time, can I tell you, like if I was on the phone or I was doing something else, or and there was there's 1,000 things to do right then at 3:10 in the afternoon. Well, the rest of the evening, if I did not give them that first 10 to 15 minutes of totally uninterrupted time with mom, they were interrupting me the rest of the night. Like so irritating. And I really realized that my children, yeah, and probably your children as well, one of their primary or secondary love languages is definitely quality time. Okay, let's talk about the third one, receiving gifts. Okay, a gift is a symbol of thought. It does not matter the cost of the gift. What matters is that you thought of them. It is also the thought that is expressed in actually securing the gift and giving it as an expression of love. And it is symbolic, isn't it? So with a fuller love take, he or she will reciprocate emotionally love to you in a language that you understand. When both persons' emotional needs are met, your marriage will take on a whole new dimension. A whole new dimension. Almost everything ever written on the subject of love indicates at the heart of love is the spirit of giving. Now, another note to self here. You are sometimes the biggest gift, just you. And I know that ties into quality time spent. But yes, you showing up is a gift to them. Being at the funeral of a friend, a loved one who has passed away, is an amazing gift of self. A homemade card, a single flower. It's what you put into the thought that makes the difference. Is it their favorite candy bar that you're giving them, or a favorite place that you like to go together? Okay, I think you've got it right. Here we go. Now, number 4, acts of service. Acts of service. Okay, sorry, you guys. Acts of service. You seek to please by serving. Express your love and friendship by doing things for them. Okay? You seek to please them by serving. So people tend to criticize their spouse most loudly in this particular area, where they themselves have the deepest emotional need. That criticism is an ineffective way of pleading for love. Acts of service are done out of love, not done out of fear or guilt or duty or resentment. The receiver can usually tell when the motivation and what that motivation is behind the service. So if you're giving service to someone, do it purely in love. Don't let a bad attitude show on that, because it will definitely be picked up, and it does the reverse effect of what you're looking for. So acts of service are also things that are in addition to what you may normally do in your daily routine of life. Okay. One example from Christ's life is when Jesus washes the feet of the disciples, an act of service, but it also ties into the next one, which is number 5, physical touch. Physical touch, it's powerful. It's a powerful vehicle for communicating love. Holding hands, kissing, embracing, and sex are all ways of communicating emotional love to one's spouse. If this is the primary love language, then without it, people feel unloved. With it, their emotional tank is filled and they feel secure in the love of their spouse. Now, don't make the mistake of believing that physical touch that brings pleasure to you will also bring the same pleasure to your spouse. If that's not their love language, it's not going to be the same thing. So have you ever hugged a friend and just seen them light up? Have you held a baby and then you felt the radiantness of that love? So there are many receptors to the brain with physical touch, many receptors. It can be as simple as a light touch on a person's arm, a gentle squeeze on your kid's shoulders. Okay, so I think that you get that. We'll dive more into this one a little bit later. And I have to laugh when I've taught love languages in with with young moms who have several children. This is their lowest on their scale is physical touch. And I one time said, gee, I wonder why that is. And then the thought came to me, it's because they are mauled all day long by their children. Okay, they get plenty of physical touch. All right, let's talk about how you can discover your own primary love languages. And then we'll call it a wrap up for this session. Well, number one, I think the best way to tell really quickly is what does your spouse do or fail to do that hurts you most deeply. So the opposite of what hurts you most is probably your love language. Or number two, what are you often requesting of your spouse, asking for? The thing that you are most often requesting is likely the thing that would make you feel the most love. Okay. Third, in what ways do you regularly express love to your spouse? Your method of expressing love may be an indication that that is the way you feel loved. Okay, so the way you feel loved is the way you're giving love. May not be theirs though, but it certainly is an indication of what yours is. Okay, and then number four is kind of a funny one, is if you could have the perfect mate, what would they be like? Okay, in your imagination, if you get the perfect mate, what would they be like? Your picture of a perfect mate should you give you some idea of your primary love language. All right, do you think that being aware of these 5 different ways that we've expressed love will be more on the top of your mind this week? I kind of think so, yeah. So being aware is the greatest teacher. You'll be aware of it this week. You'll be thinking of these 5. And go back and listen to this as much as you want. This week, be aware of your own language and how you are feeling. Just check out your feelings. Make your own note to self. It will be very helpful for next week, I promise you. Now, is it possible that your spouse was expressing all of these love languages when you were dating? Oh, yeah, it was. In fact, it's probably true. That's how you guys got married in the first place. That's how they won and you won their love, or at least a big part of it. In a new relationship, all 5 of the love languages are usually going on. All 5 of them. Funny, right? Okay, next week, such a fun topic. Isn't this a fun topic? Love it. More important is next week is that you have major payoffs in almost any relationship. Let's learn this skill together. Let's practice it together. All right, here we go, you guys. Rich girls, have a great week out there. And to those few guys who are on board with us, thanks for joining us as well. You are always welcome. All right, bye for now.